Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and welcome to the continuation of the prophetic timeline. And this is the second recording of the Meccan period. Now, we talked before about the dynamics that was happening between Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the believers, and the torture and everything that was being done to them by the non-believers. And we talked about the migration to Abyssinia. Now, so the Prophet continued to call for his faith, and the torture continued. And the non-believers decided, since Muhammad's clan are not giving him up and they're protecting him, so they said, okay, we're going to boycott everybody from Muhammad's clan, whether Muslims or non-Muslims. And so they agreed that they will not marry, they will not sell or buy, they will not talk to them, they will not mix with them, they will not visit, they will nothing to do with them. This stayed for 2 to 3 years, and it was a very tough situation. There were reports that people were almost in famine, and they were eating the leaves from the trees and so on. But at the end, the non-believers themselves went back and ripped the document for the boycott. And so, but however, after that, as soon as the boycott was cancelled, Abu Talib, the one who had Muhammad's back, and he was the head of the clan, he got really sick, and then he passed away. And the problem was that the one who took his place as the head of the clan was although Abu Talib was an unbeliever, but the one who took his place, Abu Lahab, who was an unbeliever, he was like a very bad enemy for the Prophet, peace be upon him. And so Muhammad now had no back, basically. And the same year, that was 619 or 620, when his uncle died. Also, a few months later, his wife Khadija, the one who gave him all the support and all the love, she also passed away. So that was a very tough time for the Prophet, peace be upon him. Add to that, he tried to go to one of the cities. He went to that city of Ta'if, and he was trying to get support from the residents of that city. And now we're going to go to Google Earth and have a look. So this is the Arabian Peninsula. And then we can see the red dot is the city of Ta'if. And then if we get closer, we can see Mecca. So he traveled from Mecca to Ta'if. It's on a hill, and it's on a mountain. And it's very different, nice weather. And now everybody goes there for the summer days. So Ta'if rejected him, the people of Ta'if, and they got their kids to run after Muhammad, peace be upon him, and pellet him with stones until his feet were bleeding. So he went back to Mecca. And now he has no back, so he called upon the leaders of Mecca, everybody, and he asked who can have his back. I remember, this is tribalism. They have to belong to somebody. They have to have a back, so people will not touch them. And so one of the good, although non-believer of the city, he actually announced to everybody that he has Muhammad's back now, and nobody can touch him. So Muhammad, peace be upon him, continued to call for his faith. Now, what happened, and the torture, of course, continued. Now, the city of Madina here, it was called Yathrib. It's 215 miles north of Mecca. It's a collection of settlement, wells, and oases. Half of the population were Jewish. There are 3 clans, Jewish clans, and the other half were pagans, and there were 2 clans. Aus and Khazraj. Aus and Khazraj were always, fighting between one another. And so they traveled to pilgrimage to Mecca, where some of them met with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he told them about Islam, and they became Muslims. And so they went back to spread the word. Next year, another delegation came This time there were 12 people, and they gave their allegiance to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and they became Muslims. And he sent with them one of the companions to teach them the Quran and teach them about Islam. Then the year after that, he had a delegation, basically, I think around 73 men and 2 women. They also pledged their allegiance, and they told Muhammad, peace be upon him, that you should come and the Muslims to Yathrib, and we will protect you there. So Muhammad, peace be upon him, started sending people in secret, basically crossing from Mecca, going to Madina, traveling at night and in secret, so Quraysh doesn't know and does not stop them. So going back now to this diagram. So coming back now to this diagram, the year of grief, as I mentioned, it was called, or the year of sadness, because Abu Talib passed away, Khadija passed away, and he had that difficult time with Ta'if. But he continued with his calling for people, and this period basically, after the year of grief, he continued to call, and this is the time where these delegations came and they gave the Pledge of Allegiance. This is also the time for that mystical journey. It's mentioned in chapter 17 in the Quran, where the angel came and took Muhammad one night, and he took him to Jerusalem, and then he ascended to the heavens, and that's the time where the canonical prayers were ordained, and the 5 prayers. Before that, the Muslims were praying twice a day. And so that is, scholars differ in their opinions, but they say it's between the year 10th, since the start of Revelation, and the time of migration. So it's in this time period. Also, what happened in this time period is that, okay, the Muslims were migrating in secret. Now, of course, Quraysh found out that they were migrating, and they couldn't catch all of them, and they continued to torture whoever they can catch and torture. And at the end, towards the year 622, what happened is that the one who had Muhammad's back, bin Uday, actually passed away. So basically now he had no back. So Muhammad, peace be upon him, made his mind up now to travel. At that time, it was only him, his very close friend Abu Bakr, and Ali, and a few of the very weak people who don't have anybody and could not travel, were left in Mecca. And so the plot was that every tribe picks a strong young man, and then all of these young men will go to Muhammad while he's sleeping, and they will all strike him with one blow. And then, of course, when he dies, Muhammad's clan cannot take revenge, because they cannot fight everybody. So they will have to accept blood money instead. So that was the plan. Although Muhammad, peace be upon him, knew of the plan, and he managed, him and his friend Abu Bakr, to slip away without them detecting them, and started their journey migrating to Medina. So that was year 622, and that is the year where the start of the Islamic calendar, and it's called the year 1 Hijri. It's called Hijrah, and that is the year, the first year of Hijrah. So next recording, we will talk about his migration and the Medina period. So thank you very much for joining us for this recording. Anything you would like to add or questions, please leave them in the comments section. And thank you. Take care, and God bless.